Amazon FBA. Type in make money online in YouTube in 2024, 2023, past 10 years or so, let's be perfectly honest. And this is no doubt one of the most common search results that comes up. Now, whilst this is seemingly advertised as a massive freebie, make money online money pit, the truth is, like all online businesses, a lot of hard work, determination and grit are needed in order to be successful in this endeavor. That's my word of the day, endeavor. Recently then in the UK, I've come across two YouTube channels that have decided to team up together, and that is Jansen Smith's Smasher Academy and the Honest FBA guys to create a holistic Amazon FBA course that teaches you everything from beginning to end. But is it any good? With many of you knowing that the blogs are pretty much dead on arrival, I thought, you know what, I've got a little bit more free time. Might as well dive back in again to the Amazon FBA front and give these courses a go. In the video today, I'm going to break down what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and what I recommend for these courses overall. Just a heads up before we dive into it, in terms of my level of experience with Amazon FBA, I am quite familiar, having started it back in 2018 with middling success, I'd say. The reason I'm reviewing both of these courses is because I think in around September, October time last year, Jansen and the guys over at Honest FBA actually decided to merge together to create one major brand to conquer the UK and wider world market in terms of Amazon FBA, which is why I'll be talking about both of those. Also, just another heads up, so that makes two for this video. This video isn't sponsored in any particular way. There won't be any sponsored links for these courses in the description box down below, which means I can just share my 100% honest opinion on whether they're good or not. So let's jump into it. The goods. So the first thing I really like about both the Smashers Academy and Honest FBA is that they're both very, very beginner friendly. Now, speaking from experience, it can be very, very challenging to set up an Amazon FBA private label business because there's so many more things to contend with than just setting up a website or an ebook business, both of which I have a little bit of experience with. Luckily then, both courses are super detailed and go step by step in terms of complete beginner novice mode all the way to making your first couple of dollars online through Amazon FBA private label. You can rest assured then that you won't be feeling overwhelmed with it because everything is just broken down so easy. So a definite plus if you're a beginner. Now, the second major benefit for the courses just has to be the incredible amount of detail these courses have. I think both of these courses have 200 videos each, which means you have around about 400 videos to get through, which covers pretty much every single aspect of what it is that they do. Now, compared to some of the other courses that I've taken that are, let's be honest, way less reputable, that's way more videos going into massive amounts of details compared to some of the other things that just give 1 or 2 videos on a certain topic and send you on your way. For example, the Smashers Academy has around about 3 different modules covering all the different ways to do product research, as well as a super in-depth over-the-shoulder video, both with Honest FBA and with the Smashers Academy there as well. So yeah, really detailed. You're part of a strong community. Now, one of the other things I really like about the Smashers Academy is Jansen is usually really good at getting back to you via email. I've had a few email exchanges with him myself, and a couple of weeks ago, actually, I had a question about a certain topic, but Jansen had just had a baby, so completely appreciate it was a little bit busy. Asked the question in the community, the Facebook group that they've got there, and they got back to me instantly with really in-depth answers, the answers to the question that I had around product research and all those kinds of things. So yeah, very easy to kind of get a hold of someone in terms of just getting that general bit of feedback. On top of that, both the Honest FBA guys and the Smashers Academy do a fantastic job of verifying your product selection, because let's be honest, that's probably the most important skill that you have to master throughout this process. And they do a really good job of just saying, yeah, that's a good one to go after, or you might want to hold your horses on this, do a little bit more research, all those kinds of things. The final benefit that I like about these courses, and in particular the Honest FBA guys, is that they're incredibly realistic about what setting up an Amazon FBA private label business is in 2024. Honest by name, honest by nature. Definitely met my pun quota for this video, right? The Honest FBA guys then don't just use the bog standard approach to doing product research or telling you what to do, and instead they think a little bit more out the box. They zag when everyone else zigs, which again, another weird pun. Why am I doing this to myself and why am I doing this to you guys? This just basically means that they're not copying what everyone else is doing on the marketplace, and gives them a nice little niche where other people aren't competing with next. Not to say that won't change in the next 5 or 10 years, because you know, competition is always rife when it comes to these make money online sort of spaces, but for now at least I definitely think they're going above and beyond in terms of the quality of what they offer. The bad. Now, whilst this course most definitely has its positives, like everything out there, not every course, not everything you go through is going to be all sunshine and lollipops, right? As such, here are a few areas in which I think the Smashers Academy and Honest FBA could definitely improve upon. The first is that there is some upsell to both the courses. For example, Jansen and his Smashers Academy does have an additional PPC course that is a vital aspect of what it is that they do. He does cover off PPC in the initial Smashers Academy, but to get that next level of detail and stuff, you do have to pay an additional amount for a separate individual course. Now, the good news, however, for me at least, I'm not sure if they're still doing this at this moment in time, but for me, because I was already a part of the Smashers Academy, I was auto-enrolled in the base course of the Honest FBA Guys course, which means that I basically get 2 courses instead of 1 for the price of 1. However, the Honest FBA Guys, they do want to make a little bit of an upsell there as well in terms of that private mentoring, that one-to-one approach, which is going to be really helpful if you are going knee-deep in this, but it does come out at quite a hefty price. I think of a couple of £100 every single month. I'm not 100% sure on that. Completely appreciate the guys are putting out massive value out there, and they are running a business at the end of the day. They do want to make money through their courses. However, if the price was slightly lower or there were maybe slightly less upsells, then that would be amazing, because setting up private label on Amazon FBA is already a pretty expensive endeavor. The second negative I found is that the partnership between Honest FBA and the Smashers Academy can be a little bit confusing at times. So like I mentioned, I joined Jansen's Smashers Academy a couple of months back. Been through all the videos as a bit of a reboot to myself in terms of how to get this process up and running. And then a couple of weeks after doing that, it was announced that Jansen and the Honest FBA guys would be teaming up together around the Honest FBA course, which is amazing. Now, this is really good because obviously you get 3 mentors instead of just the 1, and 3 different ways of doing things as opposed to just the 1. However, some of the advice, some of the time, and not this again isn't for everything, but some of the advice can be a little bit contradictory and confusing at times. For example, Jansen teaches when doing product research to find products that fit into that 20 to 25 to 30 pound bracket mark, whereas the Honest FBA guys, they tend to go after those higher price points of 30, 40, 50 pounds, dollars, whatever you want to call it, and above, just so you're dealing with much less competition there. Don't get me wrong, many different ways to skin a cat. However, it can be a little bit confusing when you're watching both videos and they're telling you 2 different things. The price of getting started. So the final major negative I have really isn't actually to do with both of the courses, but it's more to do with the business model of private label Amazon FBA at this moment in time, which is it takes a lot more money than you think to actually get started. So having watched a fair few courses now and doubling down on sort of Honest FBA and the Smashers Academy, I think genuinely if you wanted to start Amazon private label, white labeling products, this instance, you probably need around about £8,000 or so just to get started. Now, this is basically to cover the cost of your PPC, a couple of months worth of stock so you don't run out of stock, most importantly, the courses to get going, launch strategies, all of these different things which really do add up over time. Essentially, you'll be making a loss or breaking even in the first order, and then the second order is hopefully when you start to make a little bit more money off the back of it. Now, credit where credit's due, the Honest FBA guys do actually say this in their video. They do mention that you need a significant budget usually to get started with this. However, Jansen in his course, unfortunately, he did mention that he started with around about £3,500, which can be a little bit confusing because I think if you go in with £3,500, you're really going to struggle to get any traction. And then worst case scenario, your product takes off, you do an amazing job, and then you've got no money to reorder stock for your 2nd month, your 3rd month, your 4th month, and you have to start the process all over again there. So you can definitely run into cash flow issues there. The recommendation. So whilst there are most definitely ways to improve both the Smashers Academy and Honest FBA and streamline some of the videos around there, I can genuinely think that it's a fantastic beginner course if you do have the budget, most importantly, to get involved with private label Amazon FBA. That said, we're still under a year, I think, into the merger between these 2 different organizations. And so there are going to be a few kinks that need to be worked out. But in a year or 2, I'm sure some of the nitpicks I had will pretty much be ironed out. So you won't have to worry about that in the future. But for now, still highly recommend it. Still think it's a pretty good course. And surprisingly, honest by name, honest by nature, they do live up to that mantra. So this is the part of the video where I say I'm knee deep in private label Amazon FBA. I'm going to start doing monthly income reports about my offering and all that kind of stuff, right? No. So you see, whilst I started the Smashers Academy and Honest FBA to get knee-deep involved in Amazon FBA private label once again, after kind of going through the courses, I realized I needed probably around about another £4,000 or so to really make the most of it and really go whole hog into the entire process, which is why over the next couple of months or so, I'm going to be focusing on retail arbitrage, which is still a section of Amazon FBA, but to a much smaller scale, where you send in well-known brands into the Amazon warehouse and sort of sell those products just to build up that cash flow over the next couple of months, get that money in there, and then sort of take things a little bit further on the back of that. Once I've got that additional £4,000, I'll then make a decision as to whether I continue on with sort of retail arbitrage and maybe move into the wholesale side of things, or then reinvest that back into going directly whole hog back into Amazon FBA. So a decision will be made then. But the good news for all of you guys is that I'm most definitely going to be keeping you guys posted over the next couple of months about how the retail arbitrage process is going on, if it's realistic, if you can make money doing it. And I'll be using the Seller Circle Guys course / Discord, I think it's called. I don't know. I'm not down with the kids with this kind of stuff. I'll just be going through all that kind of stuff and let you know, if that's actually been a success or not, if it's worth going after, and we can take things from there. As always though, guys, if you are interested in more videos around, sales, side hustles, any of those kinds of things, absolutely smash the like and subscribe button, as they both genuinely do help out the channel. And until next time's video, I'll leave you to it, gang. All the best for now. Have a good one.